Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
This is Pulse 95 and a very warm welcome back onto the Morning Majlis. Now, the big concern and a big thought that has been shared yesterday was the fact that there could potentially be a new variant. Now, we've heard this before. That's why we've got these names, the Delta variant as well, the Brazilian variant, the Indian variant. So, we're kind of used to it now. We're in fact become variant immune to an extent when it comes to our understanding of what's going on. But we might not be medically immune. And that's what Europe and the United States may likely face. That's according to a senior World Health Organization official. But a variant that can defeat the existing vaccines. Dr. David Nabarro, the WHO special envoy for the disease, said some wealthy countries could pay the price for rushing to vaccinate their own people while the poorer nations were left short of the doses. So the big vaccine inequity that we discussed yesterday is something that's going to be quite alarming in the years to come.
Well, yeah, he did say that countries would be better served by keeping infection rates low all around the world. That means the virus has less opportunity to mutate. But stating some facts here, less than 5% of people in low-income countries, they have received a first dose of vaccine. While rich nations, they're pressing ahead with booster shots and vaccination programs for children. And going back to what Dr. Nabarro has been saying, he told an Institute for Government event that the disparity in vaccinations could lead to much resentment. He said that my view is it's pretty likely that there are going to be variants emerging that will definitely beat the vaccines that are being used in Europe and also the US. And he said that I will take the view that the people of Britain or Europe or even the US are best served if the level of virus in the world is kept as low as possible. He said that we're all going to depend on each other at various points in dealing with this. If we don't deal with it as a global challenge, what's likely to happen is that there will be a great deal of resentment and also mistrust. And he also talked about the new variants more closely.
Yeah, and scientists say that viruses are always mutating. The virus that emerged in late 2019 has gone through multiple variations, some minor and some major. But they all made the virus more infectious and more effective at spreading, and of course more resistant to the current vaccines. I've been reading up on this variant called Delta Plus, and it's a point of concern in the United Kingdom. The World Health Organization has also recently dubbed it a variant of concern. And the UK's Health Security Agency has recently issued a report as well, saying that, quote, a Delta sublineage, newly designated as AY42, is noted to be expanding in England. This might explain the fact that the United Kingdom is facing a growing health crisis with a recent spike in COVID-19 cases. In fact, between 40,000 to 50,000 new infections per day in the last week. People asking, why is the UK so vulnerable to COVID all of a sudden? Well, now they're saying it's the Delta Plus variant, and now it's spreading all around the world. They're saying it's emerged in the United States and Massachusetts. So that might be the other thing we're talking about, the Delta Plus.
The new names, whenever they come out, yes, this is what happens, really gets you concerned, doesn't it? But I'm looking at the charts at the moment, the COVID-19 cases in the UK, and looking at images circulating from the UK, you would be concerned because the big concerts are happening, the big gatherings are going on. Yes, people are vaccinated. Yes, people are showing their NHS app before going in, but sometimes it's too early to open up too much. And here in the UAE, at least, we are compliant. We do follow the regulations and we do follow the guidelines. It's very difficult for people. It's very difficult in the UK to see a high compliance rate amongst the general population. So it certainly is of concern. It looks like a second big wave, to be honest, looking at the spike in cases.
It's really, really bad right now, and it seems to be continuing to grow. The numbers have been going up and up on a daily basis, and currently looking at the 7-day average, it's just above 40,000, 40 to 45,000 new cases per day. Definitely something of concern, and scientists are scrambling to understand this Delta Plus variant because there are many unknowns. They don't know just how effective it is at spreading. They haven't studied it that closely. It has just emerged. And the other aspect, too, is how effective the vaccines are or may not be, but all indicators point to the fact that it's probably very much vaccine resistant.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest fear right now.
The Delta in general, the Delta variant is highly contagious and it's more resistant to treatment than the original variant. They've also seen a 10% increase could make the new variant the most infectious one yet. So it is definitely a concerning situation.
Definitely is. I think a lot of international companies will also be watching it with concern, especially the airlines and especially the companies associated with global commerce. Because at the moment, if we look at this big CNN headline as well, it says COVID chaos grips the East and uncertainty haunts the West. Europe is entering its second pandemic winter. So you read things and then you will get the goosebumps and you'll be thinking, oh my God,
You get
what's going on?
bumped. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So let's keep a close eye on these developments and see where and how things can improve. But for the time being, we will prepare for the big news headlines for you. So do stay with us here on the Morning Majlis. We'll be right back after the business headlines, continuing the discussions here on the Morning Majlis.
Pulse 95.
The Morning Majlis, talking the stories that are shaping headlines. This is Pulse 95.
The International Publishers Association President, Her Excellency Sheikh Budur Al Qasmi, has undertaken several key engagements at the Frankfurt Book Fair, which was held in a hybrid format, virtual and physical, from October 20 to 24. She's led several key discussions on strengthening the global publishing business against the ramifications of the COVID-19 pandemic and other challenges. Her Excellency Sheikh Budur Al Qasmi attended the opening ceremony and spoke at a digital panel called The Impact of COVID-19 on the Global Publishing Industry. This event was co-organized by the World Intellectual Property Organization and Frankfurter Buchmesse, together with leading industry experts, including the WIPO chief economist Karsten Fink. Her Excellency Al Qasmi highlighted that an effective way to mitigate against the uneven post-pandemic recovery that's projected for global publishing hubs and smaller markets was in a comprehensive collection and usage of data relating to the size, impact, and contributions of all national publishing ecosystem players around the world.
Absolutely. And these observations coincided with the launch of the WIPO Publishing Industry Report, on which this report and the IPA, they have partnered since 2016. And Al Qasmi noted that the data and statistics would support the IPA's policy advocacy and serve as a key resource for publishers to keep up to date with global markets. Now, Her Excellency Sheikh Budur led the IPA Sustainability Summit with a strong message on the invaluable role global publishing can play in tackling the two most pressing challenges of our time, those being sustainability and climate change. Now, underscoring that there needs to be a shift from viewing the industry's impact as indirect and informational to include more active contributions. Noting that IPA was actually in a unique position to ensure the voice of publishing is included in these discussions and the broader global development dialogue as well. And Sheikh Budur as well said or firmly asserted that industry players needed to come together to define more precisely what sustainable publishing really means to them. And as stakeholders, they should demand more accountability from publishing on environmental, social, and also governance commitments.
And it's amazing to see that they've, in fact, they're celebrating their 125th year, the IPA, and the International Publishers Association president also attended the Federation of European Publishers rendezvous and discussions on European publishing market. The session ended with new signatories pledging commitment to the Inspire Charter, which has already won more than 50 endorsements, representing trade associations, book fairs, and other stakeholders, alongside 86 association members. The IPA, in its celebrations for this milestone, also attended Her Excellency Sheikh Abdur Al Qasimi also attended an anniversary reception and dinner on the sidelines of the Frankfurt gathering, where she thanked the national associations, partners, supporters, dedicated industry professionals who have worked with the organization for such a long time to develop the resilience and long-standing sustainability of good publishing. In the lead up to this book fair, Her Excellency Sheikh Abdur Al Qasimi and the CEO of the Frankfurt Buchmesse, Jürgen Boos, gave insightful commentary on the new IPA Inspire report, which was revealed during the book fair, with crucial findings on ways global publishing professionals and stakeholders envision the post-pandemic future of the sector. In terms of what we envision for the show on the Morning Majlis, we are looking forward to more discussions on climate change, because that is the big talker at the moment for sure. So do stay with us here on the Morning Majlis. We'll continue the discussions. Got lots of musical entertainment once again lined up for you. But we're inviting all of you, by the way, to share your success stories of living in the UAE. Just like how Rania talked about her pharmaceutical days, we're inviting you guys to share your thoughts, your first job, your first house in the UAE, how you felt about moving to a completely new country, called it home, as we celebrate the golden jubilee of the country. Text us on 4215. Faisal has clarified that she is in fact Emirati, but she's still going to the cricket stadium today, which is good. Mm-hmm. Checking out the international game today, as she says that she's picked up crickets because of us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she has.
We're very influential.
Amazing. See, influencers, hashtag, like for like, follow for follow. So why not? And then, we'll continue the discussions here on the program. So we're inviting all of you to keep texting, keep those texts rolling in. And we are looking forward to the discussions here on the program. And we'd love to get you guys to become our guests on the Morning Majlis, for it is your show, it is your station to share your stories. And it is going to be celebrating the Golden Jubilee of the UAE. Up next, we talk about the University of Sharjah and their climate change conference.
If you liked this episode of The Morning Majlis, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.